Okay, students, so this is our last word for this week. It's the word minor. And so here's the sentence to copy that you would copy on the card. It says, the Garcia brothers are minor characters in the novel A Parrot in the Oven. I don't know if you remember from English 2, the Garcia brothers are the bullies in the neighborhood who pick on Manny at the beginning, and then at the end he's not scared of them. But they're minor characters because minor means not important, not so important. And so the Garcia brothers are less important to the whole story than Manny, or less important even than his family members, because you only see them a few times in the story. So the opposite of minor characters would be major characters, or the main character is the opposite of minor. So, but here we're looking at minor, less important. And yeah, so again, the Garcia brothers are minor characters in the novel Parrot in the Oven. And moving on to our next slide, here are the definitions for minor. So minor, it says, has two definitions. So one is adjective definition, definition one, not very large, important, or serious. So not important or not serious. And again, so like the opposite of minor is going to be major. And in Spanish, menor. And then the second definition for minor, the noun definition, is for a person. A minor is a person who is under the age at which you legally become an adult and are responsible for your own actions. So in the United States, that age is 18 for most things, except for the only thing you can't do when you're 18 pretty much is drink alcohol, right? But in every other way, when you're 18, you're not a minor anymore, you're an adult. But anybody under 18 is called a minor. And so let's look at the definitions in more detail. So this is not very large, important, or serious. And you can see these people fighting in this office. The sentence that goes with this is, my co-worker and I had a minor disagreement today at work. So minor, not so important, not so big, but it's a disagreement. You don't agree. But if it's minor, it's not a big problem, it's a smaller problem. And then second definition, as we said, is a person under the age of 18. Even in the US, it's under the age at which you legally become an adult. And so here it says, any person who is under the age of 18 is considered a minor. Therefore, they are not allowed to vote. And you can see in this picture, these are some students who believe that people should be allowed to vote when they're 16. So they have these signs, 16 for democracy, 16 years old can vote, voting just makes sense. But they believe that. But right now, that is not the law. You have to be 18 to vote, because if you're under 18, you're a minor. If you're a minor, you're not considered to be legally an adult, so you can't fully participate by voting. And then word families, minority. Minority means less than 50%. The minority is if you measure a group, like what people's opinions are, minority is going to be less than half of the group believes something. So that means like if you had an election, they would lose because there are fewer of them than there are in the majority, which is more than 50%. So that in that way, they're not as important because they're not going to win. There are fewer of them than the other group, so they're in the minority. And then minor synonyms for minor are insignificant and small. Antonyms are major and significant. And one more thing I wanted to do is I forgot to talk about the pronunciation of this. So one difference between English and Spanish, right, is that in Spanish, O is pronounced O, but in English, many vowels are not pronounced the way they're written. And actually, the most common vowel sound in English is what I call the lazy U sound. N, like that. Kind of like I say lazy because it's sort of like because your lips are very relaxed. They're not doing anything. So in that way, your lips are kind of being lazy right there. So that's really the sound here. Minor, minor, minor. It's not minor. If you say minor or minor, that's not quite right. So just wanted to point that out. Pronunciation is minor, minor. All right. Thank you very much for watching the videos for this week.